What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with Tom Clancy's EndWar. We are here on turn 2. We got a couple of missions for us today, so if you haven't seen the first episode, be sure to go ahead back and take a look at that. But we are here looking at Rondain as we have a conquest here on the Russian city. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the action here with the conquest of Rondain.
The enemy is going all out to seize this uplink cluster. We cannot let them achieve full spectrum dominance in this sector. The Russians think of this as home, so they'll do whatever it takes to get it back. Your opponent, Colonel Yuri Tenkayev of the 35th Armored, couldn't have a more appropriate name. Expect frontal assaults and a horde of T-100 Ogre tanks. Be decisive out there. Never forget that indecision is a decision, and inaction has a cost all its own. Make the enemy pay that toll, Colonel. Mitchell out.
So we are out here in this Russian city. Right off the bat here, we are calling in our gunships here. Adder is moving in. We have Pokerface coming to secure this Foxtrot uplink right here, and we are sending Ghost, our rifleman, to go secure Lima. We're going to switch the camera here to the gunships. A lot easier to see the battlefield this way.
Securing the uplink.
We're checking in here on our engineers, settling in against the harsh conditions, but they're going to go ahead and secure Foxtrot for us. In Conquest, we have to secure over half the uplinks here, so getting 4 of these letters here on the minimap going to be crucial. The minimap on the top right here. See, flying over here to Lima. We got a lot of our normal troops here, ally riflemen heading in. They got a lot of enemy riflemen as well. So this map always proving to be a difficult one nonetheless, but we're going to go ahead and call in some transports here as well, because they like to have gunships fly in on our boys here and start wrecking havoc. We're going to go ahead, send Pokerface over here to Sierra and to start making their way there. It's going to take a while for them to get there, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. So if we can go Foxtrot, Lima, Sierra, and then Zulu in the middle, that would be a winning formula for us.
Uplink secured by hostiles.
We're going to go ahead, move them there. We're going to call in some artillery. Always nice to have some artillery on the battlefield.
Uplink has been secured.
So Lima is secure, so we're going to go ahead and start taking a look at our riflemen and maybe move them up here to this building up here.
Yes, sir. Copy that.
So we can't upgrade our uplinks with any airstrikes or anything because we are in hostile territory. So we will certainly look to take a strategic advantage in other ways. Calling in our tanks here. We're going to need them eventually, but as you can see, unit number 1 for the enemies is some transports. So we're just going to go ahead, stick our artillery on them. Our artillery is chillaxing way back there, it looks like. Yep, they're going to take a minute to move into position. It looks like some enemy artillery is raining in fire, so we're going to go ahead and get these guys in this house as quick as possible. We're going to go ahead and get our tanks here. We got some incoming fire here from these gunships, so we're going to go ahead and get our boys in this house as quick as possible there. And we're going to send in our transports here to start laying some firepower down on these gunships. We might as well send our gunships themselves in as well. Transports are very good against gunships. Some good anti-air there. And of course they are running. Who would have thought? And there are the artillery. So we're going to go ahead and stick our gunships on the artillery, because they are not good to have sticking around. So we got gunships taking on our gunships, but we got some transports here looking to lay some waste there while our gunships are taking on them. Some transports back here that we don't want hanging around too long either. But things are progressing here. taking out the artillery there, but we are losing some gunships in the process. But so are they. It's just a matter of who is going to die first. And it looks like we're going to take advantage of this one there. Switch our focus, maybe get some gunship on gunship action. Alright, and they're down, so we're gonna retreat here. We don't need to be back here behind enemy lines for too long. Everybody move out. We're gonna send our riflemen in to secure Zulu now, since we kind of cleared the area. And we are up getting Sierra over there as well, so that's good news to see. We're going to bring our tanks in here because they're good against transports, and helicopters are not, so we're going to go ahead and move out there. Let's send our artillery on them as well.
We're engaging.
Artillery laying the boom there, as you can see, long range.
Check Sierra. Uplink is secure. We have multiple
Transports firing on them as well. We'll bring the helicopters back in, being that we got a lot of firepower there. Honing in on these transports right here. DEFCON 1 already. Not good because they can fire in a WMD, but instead they crashed. Oh, they did both! Oh, goodness. As we just lost 4 units there. Holy moly. We got to start calling them in quick. So basically what just happened is they nuked us straight out the zone. If you get your, once you hit a point where you can win, which is when we secured Zulu, they can fire in a WMD, which is a big freaking missile, and they just took out 4 of our units in one go there. So Bushmaster is now on the field. We gotta wait for a couple of our other units to get rescued here so we can start calling in more. The good news is we've survived that initial rocket, so now it's a battle 3v3. The other way to win this is just by killing all the enemy units when they start coming in. So as you can see, they're gonna secure Delta over there. So it's gonna be kind of a stalemate. So we're just gonna go ahead, strap up, and start trying to beat them one-on-one, our squad against theirs. We're gonna go ahead, put our riflemen over there to secure Sierra, and move our engineers up here to these houses. Riflemen are better against other rifleman groups. Are kind of a well-rounded unit, but engineers are weak against riflemen, and a lot of times they like to bring riflemen around the backs of these mountains over here to take Sierra. So we're going to go ahead and make the swap now while Sierra is nice and open. We see some gunships moving in over here as well. We're going to call in our command vehicle so we can send drone attacks and get a better overall view of the battlefield. Now we got our transports taking on these gunships. This should be light work for everyone involved. We're going to go ahead and send a drone attack as well and get our drones moving forward. We got more artillery fire on our position as well, so we're going to go ahead and look to move our gunships out and see if they can go find the artillery, as they immediately do, which is good news for us. As we take down the gunships, we also see a unit of transports back here. So we're going to go ahead and put our artillery on them, as well as our tanks. Tanks are very good against transports.
That is a kill. This is impact. We are opening fire at hostile.
Eyes on Cessna stairs.
Hammer. Artillery fire on our position.
Hostile destroyed.
Gunships did the job, so we're going to go ahead and switch them over here to the tanks, because gunships are very good against tanks. But But we're going to go ahead and move our gunships over. We got some engineers here as well, so a good kind of
This is impact. That is a kill.
modge podge of units heading here, as our artillery is making quick work
Bushmaster.
of those transports as well as our tanks over there. So now we're going to move our tanks out because our tanks could be in trouble.
Infantry is most effective fighting from
And we're
cover.
going to switch our artillery to Unit 7 over here. We're going to move our gunships over here so that they're on the back side of these tanks, hopefully out of the range of the engineers, and then start lighting up these tanks.
Engaging the enemy.
The engineers over here are starting to take damage from the artillery as well. Hopefully Unit 1 can garrison fire on the hostile engineers.
Engaging hostile.
Things are going smoothly though. We got a lot of command points as well to use for if we start to lose units.
This is Bushmaster.
Check Unit 6. Losing effectiveness. Damaged units can be ordered to retreat. Save units and they'll get better with experience.
So we have taken out those tanks, but we have lost our own tanks in the process.
We're scoring
Not
damage.
ideal there, but because we got some gunships that moved in on us that we did not quite see.
We're hurting them. Hostiles have
But
lost
as our riflemen over here are taking down these engineers, putting a lot of hurt into them, which is all good news for us. Engineers over here not doing too hot, and the gunships are getting absolutely worked here by our transports. Yep, they're taken out, and the engineers are not doing too hot over there either.
Bushmaster here.
Riflemen back here doing just fine.
Hostiles
Engineers up
down.
here
Focus
still
base
working on them. Those engineers are down, so we're going to switch our artillery to these engineers over here in this building. Artillery is great against units in a building, as we'll make light work of them.
Center quadrant.
A transport unit has popped up, which isn't ideal. We killed that hostile as we destroyed the building. KIA, not what you want to see if you're the enemy.
We're engaging.
So we're going to go ahead and send the drone attack on these transports and have our artillery start firing on them, because we don't have any tanks on the battlefield, and tanks are what are very effective against transports, as well as engineers. So we're going to send our engineers to garrison fire these transports, and since they're in cover in this building, they should be okay,
Hostiles have lost the squad.
as they are indeed, and they are laying down some serious firepower there.
Focus base.
Engineers still got their shields up and are doing just fine.
Hostiles squad down.
Hopefully the artillery can get them as they're retreating.
This is impact. This is focus base. This is your Schwartz cogs.
Yup, and there they go. Hostile 3 is down.
Hostile eliminated.
We're going to send our helicopters here on a little reconnaissance mission to see what is brewing and what we need to prepare for. Meanwhile, we will get our tanks over here onto the battlefield off to the
Eyes
side.
on kid.
Looks like we got some tanks here, which our helicopters will make quick work of, as well as some engineers that are way back here on the map.
Check Unit 7. They'll get smashed.
Blue cap here. Destination reached, sir.
Hostiles are deployed.
We're going to make sure our helicopters are well away from these engineers there, as they will dice us up, as we also got some transports moving in, probably to pick up these engineers, but we'll take out these tanks first and deal with them later.
Eagle down. Eagle down. Yes, sir.
Helicopters are not doing too hot there. Engineers must have just been in range, and then now the transports are picking them up, so maybe we can
Do it by the book, sir.
get one last ding of damage here on these tanks we have. And now they are retreating. So we are going to get our helicopters out of here before they go down as well.
You're cutting us down. This is messing with our heads.
We got some gunships moving in, as well as these transports. So we're going to go ahead and stick Unit 4 on the gunships.
Looks easy, sir.
Check
Transports,
Central Quadrant. Relay missile detonation imminent.
as they are sending another detonation towards us. And they take down all kinds of people, and we lose
Check Unit 5.
Our riflemen are killed in action right there, you saw.
Blue cap here.
Our command vehicle's doing okay. Our transports are okay. We lost our engineers. That's what we lost. Our riflemen up there are doing okay, but man, they're just coming at us here with the rockets. We're going to go ahead and do the same. WMD Hostile 5. Let's see how they like a taste of their own medicine. We're going to go ahead and get Unit 4 out of there.
Check Unit 4. They'll be clobbered.
This is Rykar. We are on them.
Hostile neutralized. Hostile
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Boom. Doesn't feel so good now, does it?
Destination reached. This is airborne.
Alright, so gunships coming in. We got transports. Let's bring in some tanks.
Units entering the battle space.
We lost our artillery, but now we got the command vehicle able to do drone strikes, which will help us
We
tremendously.
have multiple units ready to.
So we've dropped in some more riflemen, and we're going to send them over to Delta to secure that uplink and maybe get this victory sooner than later.
Eyes on KV-20 Zukov artillery vehicles.
We have some artillery entering the battle space as well, so we're going to go ahead and send the gunships their way and hopefully take them out.
Check Central Squad.
The artillery is down thanks to a whole bunch of support from the transports and the gunships, and now these riflemen
Eyes on
are the next
5 Howler gunships.
target for us, as we also got some transports coming in as well. Not exactly what we want to see. So we'll send the drone attack on the transports as we will start to take on these riflemen. Our gunships are not going to do too hot since these transports are coming in, so we're going to back off a little bit and wait for them to come to us once our tanks get back into the battlefield. So now we are opening fire on Hostile 4 with our transports, our tanks, and our helicopters. Should bode well for us as the riflemen are forced to evacuate.
Blue cap. One roller fireball.
Here comes the drone attack as well.
Check Central Quadrant.
Hostile
neutralized.
4 is down. That only leaves Hostile,
We've lost 2 rollers.
whatever Hostile number it is. It's not popping up right now, but we also got some gunships heading in.
Hostile eliminated.
Not exactly what we want to see.
We are engaging the hostiles. Roger, we'll engage. We're scoring damage. This is Mr. Big. We're scoring damage. This is Blue Cap. We got a kill, sir.
Unit 1 Boogeyman has arrived at Delta and are taking down that uplink as we speak.
Outbound.
Having our gunships doing some
Southwest
further
quadrant.
scouting here, we see we got victory in less than 5 minutes.
Destination
We
reached,
have found some engineers here, Hostile 1 moving in, probably to head over there to the uplink we just secured of Delta, and are going to probably try to go get that uplink, because right now we have the majority of the uplinks, which is why victory is in 4 minutes. But as we see here, they got one last hurrah here. We got some tanks coming in as well, so we're going to go ahead and back off here. Bring in our artillery that we just dropped into the war zone here, and get our tanks heading towards these transports. Eventually our gunships will go head over to those tanks
Check Unit 5.
coming down the hill,
They'll
but
be
we want to make sure we attack this last hurrah as smart as possible. We want to lose the least amount of units here, so we're going to make sure we get all our units jumbled up here so we can attack as one force. Our tanks have caught up here to the transports, so we're going to go ahead, send the gunships to go in with them, and our tanks should do very well against these transports. 3 minutes now until victory. The tanks moving over there with the gunships and the engineers, all of them moving together as one unit there as they move towards Delta.
Scoring hit, sir.
Our riflemen over there gonna need to bunker down. They got some fight coming their way as our tanks are laying into these transports now. Transports really starting
Enemy
to
has no
lose
reserves left, sir.
their muster there, down into the yellow health, as you can see. We'll stick our gunships on there just to give them some extra firepower against transports. That way we can take them down as quick as possible.
They're dead meat, sir.
West Squadron.
So they have now
Hostile
been taken
neutralized.
out. Hostile 3 is down. Now the tanks have peeled off and started to attack the gunships, which helps us because our gunships are going to demolish those tanks, and those engineers out there in the open are going to get wrecked by our transport tank and artillery combination, as our riflemen are starting to take on those gunships over there, and they are already taking them down as well. When the riflemen are in cover, they are pretty much good against everything, as they are in cover right now behind these barricades. Those gunships got nothing. We finally lose our transports there. They were on pretty low health for a long time, but they take out Hostile 1 with them, as the tanks now are on low health and the gunships are on low health. So entering the final stages here, the tanks are gone, gunships soon to be right behind them there, as we only got our tanks and our gunships shooting them, but it should get the job done. And there it is. Gunships are down, all hostiles are down, and it looks like it'll be a clean, easy road here for the last minute and a half until the victory.
Outbound.
Almost 30 seconds left here, and we are scouting the path behind the mountains that goes back here to Uplink Sierra, where we have found their last group of hostiles there. They got a set of engineers heading back to Sierra in what was their last-ditch attempt to take an uplink, but one, they are not going to have enough time, and two, our gunships are here to halt any progress they were going to make. So our gunships probably would have lost this battle one-on-one, but luckily the time clock is going to save them here from ultimate death as we head into the victory stages.
We've won, sir. Chalk one up for the good guys. We're going to need bigger tanks next time. After action report collated.
Taking a look here at the after action mission report there, we see the victory. We got a whole bunch of promotions there, including a couple of our riflemen. Looks like we did not lose the engineers in the battle like we thought. Must have been a glitch of some kind, but we see the victory there, and we will move on happy with this one. 11 of our 16 units that were used have been promoted. Promoting is always a good thing. We get upgrades in the attack and defense, HP, and the damage that they will put out, and so that will hugely benefit us moving forward. We won our battles there in Russia, and in Eastern Europe the campaign is still to move forward.
Secretary of Defense Ram Charney is praising U.S. arms manufacturers for exceeding production
Little
targets
propaganda
across
there,
all
but if you
sectors.
enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe for more, comment down below what battle you want to see us do next, if you want to see us do that raid or one of the conquests. And as always, subscribe for more Sidearm Gaming content, and enjoy the rest of your day.
In Eastern Europe,